you know, when Merrill Lynch and Citibank had a problem earlier on in the crisis, they turned to the foreign sources of funds, including the sovereign wealth funds. They had to. With Americans saving zero, there is no liquid wealth in the United States. They turned abroad. And that was the point where people started worrying about, we have been telling people all over the world, open up your markets to our firms. But when foreigners started coming into American markets, people got a little bit nervous about this. Now, the first observation is, I think the sovereign wealth funds have been lost enough in their investments in American financial markets that they're going to be reluctant, whatever we say, to put more money in to the United States. You say burned once, it's your problem. Burned twice, it's my problem. They know that they have to take better diligence, and they know they can't understand trust what's going on. Now, I've talked to the heads of several of the sovereign wealth funds, and quite honestly, they're quite angry. For the United States to be talking about transparency, when you see what's going on in America's financial markets, you see the way the government's been bailing out with such a non-transparent way, they say, come on, talk about hypocrisy. Let's be real here. Now, as an economist, my perspective is the following. It's obviously good to have more transparency, but we aren't putting, hedge funds are not transparent. If we say that sovereign wealth funds have to be more transparent and they're not transparent enough, the sovereign wealth funds can put their money in hedge funds. We don't know who's investing in the hedge funds. So this is all a charade. This is all a charade to make people feel like we're doing something. Now, what we need to think about is, what are we worried about? What are we worried about? If a sovereign wealth fund comes in and invests in a company and loses money, is that a problem? The Japanese back in the 80s bought Rockefeller Center and lost a lot of money in the deal. Was that a problem? There are some things that we need to worry about. If somebody buys, establishes a monopoly position, that's a problem. If somebody buys, one of the really weird things that we did is we privatized the U.S. Enrichment Corporation, which makes the critical ingredient in atomic bombs, enriched uranium. We should feel nervous about having somebody owning that facility. But the answer is, we need regulations to protect us. So it's not the lack of transparency of the sovereign wealth fund, it's the lack of adequate regulations in the United States to protect us from the things that we're worried about. If we're worried about monopoly, let's have stronger antitrust laws. And I think we need stronger antitrust laws. If we're worried about U.S. Enrichment Corporation pursuing profit maximizing objectives, we should never have privatized this, because profit maximizing is not consistent with our national interest. Profit maximizing is selling it to this enriched uranium to the highest bidder. I don't think we want that. So that was a mistake to privatize that. We should bring that back and to make it, not a profit maximizing entity. So these are the things that we ought to be thinking about, what it is that we're worried, and deal with the things about which we are worried.